Man, let me tell you, I get so excited when we get to record
Me too.
because I can put all of the other things aside.
This is all I thought about all day to the detriment of my entire workday.
Oh, man. I'm not even going to give work any more airtime.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm going to ask you one very intimate question.
Okay.
What do you think intimacy is?
Okay, do you want me to give you what my definition is, or do you want me to give you like a picture of intimacy?
Either or both.
Okay.
I do love a good picture.
When you said intimacy, I'm a musician. I think of being on a stage by yourself.
Yes, yes.
You're on the stool or the chair, or you're standing in front of the microphone. You're looking out at all the people, or you're in the crowd and you're looking up at the performer. And then the song starts, and the song is deep, deep from within. It is someone's soul that they are bearing to you. And it's quiet. And you have that sense of connection. Like everyone in the room is on the same frequency, and you're looking inside of the person who's playing. Or if you're the one playing, everyone's seeing you, like who you are and the deepest truth of you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Should we go to Cody's corner and see what his... Cody, what's your view of intimacy if you had to paint a picture?
My view of intimacy? I think it's the things in the little moments. I don't know. I think about my wife, obviously. Just the stuff that you don't normally show people, the freedom to be yourself, just letting your hair down, you know what I mean? And not without fear of judgment or anything, really giving the full picture. I try to be myself in all situations, but you're always kind of giving a facet of yourself to different groups. But when you feel like you have an intimate relationship with someone, you're giving the full picture.
All of it.
Yeah. And that's why I don't really equate it with like sex and other stuff, because I think that is still a facet people put forward. They want to, if you're on a first couple dates or whatever, you're trying to put your best, foot forward, so to speak. So I wouldn't consider that intimate until you've really gotten to know someone for a long time, very familiar.
Yeah. That made me think of like a filter, or like there's like a faucet, and like some people get maybe half of what you could possibly be giving, but intimacy is when you kind of open it up.
Full throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. What about you?
Our topic today,
Oh boy,
is going to be on intimacy.
Ooh.
We are definitely going to get there. For our listeners and viewers, full transparency, I'm a ball of emotion today, so we don't know what's coming out. But we do have a good topic and a good show prepared for everyone.
What are we trying to? What's the journey today? Like where are you taking us?
Today we are going to set the stage for subsequent episodes on really understanding the ground rules and the very foundation of what intimacy is.
Okay, cool. So walking away from this one, understanding kind of like what's the baseline? What is intimacy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. To that, I'm going to open up with a little bit of a question for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
But first, a little bit of a story. So for many, many years, I worked in academia, and I don't know about you, but when you saw your teacher not in a teacher setting,
Oh man,
wasn't that weird?
the weirdest thing in the world.
Like they shouldn't be there.
no, why are you in the grocery store?
I feel the same. I feel the same way when I travel and I stay in a hotel and I see someone who's going to be at this conference with me in like workout clothes.
Oh right.
It takes a second for my brain to adjust.
Oh, you also work out?
Right. It just puts everything in a very...
You don't live in an office?
right. You're on Teams. Like you're a real person. So I think about all this. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What professional, either performer, artist, athlete, do you view in such high esteem that you you were shocked to find out that they had like some type of secret that ended up being.
Oh, dude, we were just talking about this person.
Shoot.
Will Smith.
Absolutely.
Will Smith is 100% literal Superman
The darling.
of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can act, is athletic, does stunts, rapper, musician, cultural icon on
Yep.
so many fronts.
Yep.
Like Superman. And then, and I don't know if you read the book before the slap thing happened.
I
but
did not.
I had just finished reading the Will Smith biography
Ooh.
that he released. And so when he got up and did what he did, I fully understood it. Every
Ooh.
gory detail that followed, I didn't feel like I was on the same wavelength as everybody else. Because I fully, like, the moment it happened, I was like, that tracks.
Interestingly enough, right before the slap, Will Smith created, for the very first time, he was highlighting Black fathers for Black History Month.
Okay.
And he used another really good kind of icon of mine, Kev on Stage, to moderate. And so I had gotten contacted from the Will Smith production company to use one of our videos on the set.
That's so dope.
We were the second person shown for the first inaugural Black Fathers thing back in like 2021.
Were you over the moon?
I was absolutely ecstatic.
Oh my gosh.
And I
dude.
defended that man to the very end because of that experience.
Yeah.
So
Wow, dude, that's incredible, by the way.
so the slap changed everything. I'm going to throw somebody else your direction. I want you to react.
Okay.
Justin Bieber.
Ooh.
Have you seen, he just did a performance at Coachella where he's singing with his younger version of
That was
himself.
so dope.
I
And
think-
the one he did at the award show where he was in his,
So we're seeing him in a very vulnerable position over the course of his life. He's a full grown adult now that's married, but
Dude, he was almost like, you guys won't let me be, but you won't let me just be a person. And I can't hide behind anything because there's paparazzi and you get into my phone and like, there's no respite. Fine. I'm going to come out here naked. I'm going to give you what you want. Like, I thought that was so amazing, dude. Like, so thought out to come out there in that award show in his boxers and sing that song, to do the thing where he's singing with to connect back to like why he's even doing this in the first place. He's like, I hate to say it because it sounds so buzzwordish, but like he's taking it back.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to reclaim this whole thing that kind of became something I didn't want it to become.
He's for sure owning that
Mhm.
moment. Can you think of someone that you would be absolutely shocked, mortified to find out their like deep, dark secret that has been always a part of them, but has just now been discovered by
Like some dark side or like not even dark side, but like an unfavorable.
Right. It's exactly. It's not dark. It's just unfavorable in the image that they have crafted.
Yeah. I mean, like in my personal life or just in general?
Anyone. It could be someone famous. It could be someone personal.
I would need a moment to think about that.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
I would be shooketh.
Shaketh of the tree.
If Denzel Washington came out with some type of scandal. Like you couldn't.
Yeah. For
That would be hard for me to accept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man. Cause he's crossed over to the point where he's like, that just made me like a Tom Hanks or
Yeah.
Where just an American institution, someone who's so beloved by,
or like a Tom Brady.
Yeah,
it attempted during Deflategate,
and then they tried to crucify him because he chose sports over his relationship.
But none of those things really shook his.
Yeah,
like he was able to weather all of that.
They came after Michael Jordan.
They have come after him.
He's an institution, though.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
It's like Congress. The Postal Service and Michael Jordan.
I think what we're really getting at is people get to know a version of who we want them to know, but we hide the real version of us. And for some people, I don't even think we want to explore who that person is or even face those dark uncertainties or those dark truths.
For sure. Yeah, like I immediately thought our conversation earlier, like I don't want to know the deep dark secret of my principal from school or you know what I mean? Like I don't want to know the deep dark secret of a lot of my coworkers.
Oh,
uninterested.
right, because it would be the wrong time for that level of intimate conversation.
Okay. I see where you're going.
But if the mood was right,
Yeah.
if the music was there,
Mm-hmm.
if the collective audience was present, and we were all having this experience together, that sets an easier foundation to peer into the window of somebody's inner being. And I think that is one of the reasons why we feel intimately connected with other people.
Interesting.
I want to read one quote from a psychologist by the name of Carl Jung. He said this. He said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate."
Oh, I love that.
I think give us your breakdown.
Until you make the unconscious conscious. So the things that are kind of moving you at the deepest levels, like through just inertia, you're not aware of it. They're your motivating factors that are not named yet. So you make the unconscious conscious, finish it.
It will direct your life.
Oh yeah, dude. We talk about this all the time. Just
Yeah.
people moving forward through inertia. You have to, if you don't spend the time to know yourself, then you can't know what you want. You'll see things, you'll react to things. There's a lot of stimuli you can react to, but to consciously make choices and guide yourself in like a very specific direction requires a lot of like time spent understanding yourself
Yeah.
in conversation with yourself.
And vice versa. If you don't expose the darkness to yourself, how could you expect to do it with somebody else? Like if you haven't explored the deep caverns of who you are for whatever reason, how can you expect someone else to truly appreciate and love all of you? They only love a portion of what you allow them to see.
Okay, so if you don't know yourself, then how could anyone ever know you fully?
Yes.
Woo!
And I think this is the risk of intimacy. But I want to go to the actual, we were talking about this before the show, the Webster's dictionary, actually not the Webster's version, the etymology of the word.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not just basic here.
Let's get the etymology of the word.
Let's bring that up. Let's bring that up. You wanna.
Yeah. So the Latin word is intimus.
That should be, first of all, that should be like a character. I've already got Maximus Prime, some type of character like that. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Intimus walks into the like Senate floor of Rome.
Oh gosh, I can see it. Oh, I can see it. All right, sorry.
The Latin intimus, which translates to inmost, innermost, or deepest. So the Latin intimus meaning what is inmost, the innermost, or deepest. And I'm assuming that applies to specifically yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it could be an attribute of any other thing too. Like what's the core of that thing, that thought. Yeah.
Should we finish the rest of the?
Yeah. So the definition, intimate, intrinsic, essential, belonging to or characterizing one's deepest nature.
We saw in the Webster's version that intimate was changed to an adjective in the 70s or something.
Right.
Meaning the closest. So ladies' underparts.
Yeah, they're intimates.
They're intimates, right? Which,
hide your intimates.
Listen, it's funny. But also it is that thin veily material that is protecting cherishing the most
Sacred parts.
sacred parts of
Of you.
you.
Yeah.
And so, not to be so ironic, I think that's another way we could describe kind of what it is that we're looking.
You know what's
talking about.
interesting? We're, let's say, 10 minutes into this, and we have not talked about sex at all.
I think that's fair.
Isn't that interesting?
I do. And my next question was, let's kind of like cross off the things on the list of what intimacy is not.
Yeah. Okay.
So sex was one. Hit me with another.
What intimacy is not?
Is not.
The first thing I think of, and I don't know if we want to go down this rabbit hole, but we were talking earlier, sometimes intimacy can be confused with other things like vulnerability. And I don't know if vulnerability is an aspect of intimacy or not. But I don't know if we want to go down that rabbit hole. Things intimacy is not. Do you have a list?
I do.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the 5 love languages?
Tell me about the 5 love languages.
Okay. So this ways in which people receive love and then give love.
Is this Gottman?
This is not Gottman,
Okay.
actually. Man, I should know this, but I don't. We'll put it in the show notes.
Tell me
about
about
tell
me about the 5 love languages.
The idea is that there's 5 different ways that you could experience love. One of
Yeah.
those ways is by physical touch. That's obviously sex. We say that's not. Quality time is another. Is intimacy quality time, do you think?
It can be.
I think it could be. I
Yeah.
think not exclusively, but I think it could be.
Intimacy, quality time. Quality time sets the stage for intimacy
I would agree.
in the same way that the physical touch sets the
Sets
stage.
the stage, I
Yeah,
would
for
agree.
intimacy. Okay.
So directional, but still not intimacy. Another one of the 5 love languages is words of affirmation. I think that's probably an easy one to be like,
Yeah.
not really.
It could go that direction.
It could, yeah.
Yeah. But it could also go the other direction.
Another one of the 5 is gifts. I don't think so.
No, if I was putting them in order so far, that'd be the bottom of the list.
And the last one that I cannot remember in this moment, but Google is here, acts of service.
Acts of service probably is up there for me because you have to understand the person in order
Yeah.
to do the act of service. But I guess not all of them, because act of service could be like, I did the dishes tonight for you.
Yeah.
That's not intimate.
No. But I think it could be.
It could be.
If you knew the person well enough, I think an act of service would resonate well with someone who's
Sets the stage for sure again.
sets the stage.
Yeah.
Anything else? What about money?
What about money?
Whether it's making money, whether it's spending money, anything to do with finances, success, money.
Not to me.
Okay. Some people choose their career over other relationships, and that could be.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about can you be intimate with inanimate objects? Cody had some funny stories about men in golf clubs.
Pause. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
What was that story?
Do you want to quickly share?
I golf with these guys every week. They're older gents. And when they get like a new putter, I guess the phrase is they have to sleep with it. They have to put it in their bed, like on their pillow, so that it'll work better because they're putting with it. It's not going so well. It's a new putter. They go, hey, you got to make sure you sleep with it. And I'm like, that's an odd. But I don't know if they're joking because I feel like somebody is actually doing that in the group. Like it's never clear if that's a bit or if they really are doing it. It's left to me to just be like, I think he's gonna sleep with his putter.
But I do think people can have those strange relationships with, especially in sports, with basketball, with your baseball glove, with
Yeah.
your bat before a game, things like that.
In a very platonic way.
Yeah.
Because there are other people that have full-blown relationships with AI, as an example.
And then, so the second thought that I have is, is that intimacy? Because can you be intimate with an inanimate object? Or do you need someone actively receiving that connection in order to actually be intimate? Does that track for you? Do you need Do you need someone actively receiving?
So yes, intimacy requires if intimacy is you opening up your full self to the innermost portions of it, then it also requires someone to be willing to walk into that area with you
Yeah.
through that journey. And so it can be bi-directional. It could be one directional in that I just want to share this story with you because it was impactful for me. And if it resonates, but my vulnerability of sharing this
Mm-hmm.
without an expectation of return from you
Is intimate.
is intimate.
Yeah.
And so reminds me of a James Baldwin quote that I want to, because I think this really underscores as we kind of go through this. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it was faced.
Not everything that is faced can be changed.
But nothing can be changed until it's faced.
Yeah, that's real. Not everything that is faced can be changed. So, I mean, you're going to encounter all kinds of obstacles or feelings or situations in life that even once confronted can't be changed. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Is that just a fancier way of saying you miss 100% of the shots you don't take? I mean, that's what that feels like to me.
I mean, it kind of, it could go that direction for sure. It could be interpreted that way, but I do wonder if it's more of like you must turn over the rock and see what's underneath. You must face the challenge, because if you don't face the challenge, you can't move past it. You can't grow. Now, sometimes you'll face the challenge and realize you can't move past it, but the act of facing the challenge gives you the opportunity to move past it. And I'm sure that I'm categorizing that in a very specific way here, but I think that is the mechanism he's talking about. It's like you gotta at least attempt it
Yeah.
if you want to affect the change, whatever the change may be. Is that how you read it?
Yes, and if there's something that is known, either to me or others, the ability to go to peer into that, however uncomfortable it may be. So it may be uncomfortable for others, and even may be uncomfortable for me to do that. But if you're looking to grow, it requires you to peel back those layers, and that could be individually, it could be collectively as all three of us, or it could be even broader than this particular group. I think the ability to face that, because most people don't want to face that. They don't want to face the fact that they were bullied in high school, and that had an adverse response to how they grew up, and it shaped their perspective of masculinity. They don't want to face the fact that no one on Hinge is willing to swipe on them, or whatever the heck you do on Hinge.
Or they used to have a stutter, and
or
now,
right,
yeah.
or whatever. So you don't want to face it, so you bury it. I'll give you a good example, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, in perpetuity. For those of you who don't know, if this is the first time listening, I have triplets, naturally born. I have super sperm. Now, if that's out the way, let me get to the point.
Just drop that in there.
Yeah. For a long time, we knew that our kids had some level of potential academic disability. By that, we mean they weren't reading as well in kindergarten and first grade. My wife was like, they're dyslexic. And I was like, don't call my kids names.
Yeah, don't put that on them.
But
Talk about my babies like that.
But it's only because dyslexia and other forms of that is neurodivergency, but also it's hereditary. My wife doesn't have it, by the way, which means it's probably coming from me, which means the thought that I unwittingly, unintentionally caused them to start behind the starting line with the deficiency was really hard for me to accept, like extremely hard. I had to accept the fact that this was true in order for them to get the help that they needed.
Okay.
It took a year for me to face that fact.
Wow.
And to accept it.
Because you felt responsible?
1,000%. I still feel responsible.
Even though you're not sure? Are you sure? Do you have dyslexia?
I've never been tested, therefore I don't have to face it.
Oh, okay. So, all right, you're
So now-
also learning from this
So
episode.
now you see how that works. Well, but my wife 100% agrees that I do. And if I'm honest with myself, absolutely. Like
Sure.
we talked about the poetry. I can't bring it up here because it's probably not coherent. Because I probably in my brain like wrote it all out and then skipped keywords.
It sounded so good in your
It
head.
sounded so good, but it didn't
Yeah.
translate.
Yeah.
So yes, I would agree. I do though want to go to a clip of a movie that I think will help kind of highlight this for us.
Okay.
It's from Good Will Hunting.
Oh, such a good movie.
Such a good movie. So let's.
Robin Williams, man.
People call these things imperfections, but they're not. Oh, that's the good stuff. And then we get to choose who we let into our weird little worlds. You're not perfect, sport. And let me save you the suspense. This girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal. That's what intimacy is all about. Now, you can know everything in the world, sport, but the only way you're finding out that one is by giving it a shot. You certainly won't learn from an old fucker like me.
Yeah. I'm sensing a theme with kind of the case you're building here. And he's basically saying the same thing. The Baldwin. If you bring the unknown out into the known, it can be faced, it can be named, it can be discussed, it can be potentially changed, you can manipulate it. But if you leave the unknown, it can't be acted on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ability to be known without having to perform.
Bars.
And if we're honest, and we talk about this in the context of friendship,
It's the ability to be known without having to perform.
and as a musician,
Dude, no, that's a bar. It's the ability to be known without having to perform, man. That's deep. Like, you fully unfiltered, can you be fully known by someone without having to put on any layer of the kind of personality, so to speak?
and so in the context of let's say friendship, how many of our friends know us, and by know us, the innermost portions in it?
God, it's got to be such a special few.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Do you remember, and you may not, a conscious choice where you started to allow people to know who you were?
Yes. I think that everyone gets percentages
Mm-hmm.
of it depending on where you are. At work, maybe 50.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I let my general temperament shine through quite a bit. I let my sense of like being motivated by community, attached to community, energized by community shine through. I let some of my hobbies and interests shine through, but like my inner thoughts, I wouldn't discuss religion at work. I wouldn't discuss kind of my worldview at work,
Mhm.
my political worldview, certainly at work. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I think that, you know, I've got some fantastic friends out here. I think of Puneet and Richa. I'm sure Puneet's going to get so much airtime. They understand my deepest political and religious and worldview thoughts, and have accepted them without judgment many times. My friends Tyler and Marley out here too. I mean, they've accepted. Probably Tyler and I have differing opinions on some religious stuff, and you know, we've had very, you know, animated conversations where our wives were. I'm sure this has happened to you too, where we're leaving and our wives are like, "Are we still friends with them?" Or like, "Are you guys going to be okay?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, were we fighting?
First of all, what a privilege. I mean,
yeah,
what a privilege that is.
I do feel like I move through the world fairly open, though. Like if we're going back to that sense of like a faucet, I move through the world fairly open and have had to learn how to close it off a little bit more for some people instead of the opposite, which I think a lot of people move through the world with fairly closed off and have had to learn to open up over time. It's a lot easier for me to be more open and just let people take it or leave it.
I like that. I also, can I say, weaponize my personality at work,
Yeah.
where my friends get probably 80% of the real version of me
Yeah.
versus everyone else gets less than half.
Yeah. What do you think? Who gets 90%?
That's a really good question. I think for those who I feel are receptive, are open and honest enough, like there's stages, there's tests. You start passing the test, then you get more access.
Sure.
Uh,
And is passing the test like receiving information and then you not feeling judged or
it's small, intimate things that I just let go and see how people respond.
yeah.
Because to me, I love intimacy a lot, and it's
Yeah.
very easy for me to get there, and it's been weaponized against me. So
Sure.
I've had to learn, but I don't like that. I
Right.
don't actively like having to throttle my level of intimacy with certain people.
Right.
Because like you said, naturally outgoing, naturally charismatic, I want to be those things. When I'm not, everyone thinks that I'm angry or depressed or I'm sad. But no, you just lost that privilege.
Right.
And even to, let's say, parents. So I would say I'm probably on a journey of living in my truth, if you will, the last handful of years. So my immediate family has been intentionally blocked from this version of me, very similar to the fact that I don't think they'll receive it well.
Mm.
And so because of that, they don't get that level of access.
That's a very interesting thought.
We've kind of talked about family a little bit.
Mhm.
We've talked about relationships. I want to talk about intimacy with your kids.
Okay. What's your thought on that? I feel like you're going to have a lot to say on this.
I will have a lot to say,
Yeah.
but I will keep it somewhat succinct, which is I didn't learn who my parents were until I was a grown, in my 30s, grown adult.
Like, you mean you didn't understand all the aspects of their personality?
I
Like,
didn't
there were
know-
things hidden from you when you were a kid.
I didn't know anything about my dad's childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about his relationship with his dad or mother or siblings. I didn't know. I couldn't tell you. My mom immigrated to the United States. I couldn't tell you more or less like the how it happened, just that all of a sudden she showed up.
Mm.
I know a little bit about how she made work in her like 20s, late teens. I knew she was au pair for a really rich family in New York. But that's it. Like I've only been held privileged to what my parents want me to see about them. As a result, I have this entire picture of my parents, but I don't know my parents.
Yeah.
And so now as a father,
You have like the opposite mission.
well, no, I have secrets.
Yeah. Okay. What are you trying to give them? Like how, if you had to put a percentage on how known you want to be.
My kids, this is who my kids know of me. And my daughter told me this over the weekend. They know me as a very engaging father. They know me as a loving husband. They know me as someone that tinkers and does stuff and has a lot of plans and dreams. But here's what they don't know. They don't know that their mom and me struggled deeply for a long time until recently. They don't know that I was married before. That's going to
blow their
undo them.
minds.
And I'm trying to figure out a way to tell them.
Yeah.
And they only recently learned that I too have learning challenges. And you know what they said?
What?
They said because I coach the volleyball team and the basketball team, and I'm very active on the sideline on the soccer team. And one of my daughters said, "You just think you're good at everything." I was like, well, first of all, that felt like an accusation.
But also, let's look at the evidence.
Also fair, but I know what she really means is that she has self-confidence issues with certain things.
Right.
She's dyslexic, so she doesn't like reading in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's trying to help find a way to secure herself. But I have to be open and say, hey, baby girl, I gave you, like, a part of this is on me. And the reason why I'm pushing you so hard is I want you to be better than who I am. And I think that transparency is really difficult for a lot of people to do. And I'm even finding it difficult for me to do.
Because you're coaching your kids, and a lot of times to not do the things that you don't like about yourself. But often they don't know why you're doing that. And it would be so much easier if you could just say, listen, this is going to be weird, but I'm on you about this thing you do because I did that. And it gave me all these challenges, or people didn't like it about me, or this happened. And I want to spare you from that. But a lot of times we don't do that. We don't have those intimate moments with our kids.
And the thing is, I will have to cross that boundary of, listen, in life. And I think this is the age where they're at, because they're 9. So they'll be 10 in September. And they're becoming more and more interested in what love means. And their idea of love is that it's eternal, it's forever, it's fun, it's flirty, it's engaging. But they don't know that love sometimes fails.
Yeah.
And this is something that I had to learn from my dad when I was a teenager, and I didn't meet my half brothers for real, as an adult until I was in my 30s. I don't want that for them, obviously. I don't have any other kids either, but I want to help them know, one, that, hey, it's okay if you mess up. I think that's the undergrounding theme here. And I want them to feel comfortable sharing some of their intimate challenges with me as well. And so it is a two-way street, and I want to foster, or at least keep that street open, so that they always feel like they have access to who I am.
Yeah, because you want them to tell you stuff.
And I even as
you want to know, know them.
I want to, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in more detail. I believe that with the intentions that I've had in my kids' life to date, that when they get to the age of what most people will consider rebellion, or at least tough times, 13 to 18, we're going to have such a tight relationship that with the right cadence and the right environment, they will open up to me about the things that I know that they are going to do, i.e. sex and sexual things and drinking and all the things that they're going to identity that they're going to want to be exposed to and have challenges on, because of the foundation that I'm setting.
Yeah, you're laying the groundwork for future intimacy.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you were talking, I was thinking of what I think of as intimacy with Alex, and the image that comes to mind, honestly, is like, we go to a lot of Mavs games together, sometimes just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at the age where, like, he doesn't want to hold my hand anymore, especially in public, especially around his friends. You know, he doesn't want to be, he used to walk on, like he was on my leg.
Yeah.
You know? And now there's some separation. It's amazing because he'll be on my leg when he's not thinking about it. And then he'll notice some other people are there that he may know. And then he'll just a little bit of separation. Like, I'm not attached to my dad. But when we're at the Mavs games and he's tired and we're both just kind of in the game, he'll just kind of like lean over and just like rest his head on my shoulder. And it's really just that he's not thinking about what's happening, and we're both just enjoying the moment. Or sometimes, like on a lazy, rainy Saturday, we can't go outside. There's no sports going on. There's no one to play with. There's nothing to do. We've already played card games, whatever. We'll just be sitting upstairs, like watching a movie or something. And he'll be watching the movie, and then he'll kind of turn and look at me and just say some super profound thought, like wise beyond his years, about the movie. And those moments to me where I could, that's his brain, like that's his innermost self. And it just came out totally unguarded. And I think, God, how do I protect that? Like as a pathway to me, because I know we're both boys. We're gonna struggle with this as we get older. And like, I desperately want to cling on to that open door. Like you're saying, like, I don't want to be in the hallway of his life, looking in the room and not understanding what it's like in there. I want to be in the room. I want to be sitting next to him. And how do you foster that? How do you foster that future intimacy? Like, what are you doing with your kids that fosters that future intimacy?
There's a lot that we do, which is complicated because I want to make sure that we, as a collective, all three of them and me, have a good relationship together. I want to make sure that the entire family, including my wife and us, have a good relationship together. And then I need to make sure that individually I understand what makes each one of them tick and that we have good individual relationships together. So we've instituted like daddy-daughter dates on a fairly routine basis. But it's a lot of, so they played 3 different sports intentionally because they want to have their own identity with their own friend group on their own team. And that is labor intensive. It costs a lot more money. It requires a lot more time, but it's the sacrifice that we make so that I can see them individually in their own sport. And now they don't want their siblings to come because now they have their own thing. And now I'm like, no, I need y'all to come by because listen, it's expensive. Gas just hit $4.36. So, but on the other side, I know that they cherish that moment so much that they don't want to let it go. And that's what I want to keep.
Do they still show up at each other's games? Like, do you bring them?
Yeah,
okay.
That's mandatory.
Yeah.
And I think what we're both saying is intimacy is being seen without losing your identity.
Yeah. Without hedging, without making some compromise.
And so I wonder if for like our listeners and us, what do you think about some sort of challenge, which is either thinking of something in your current existence that is hidden, and we all have secrets, and sharing that thing with someone. You've got plenty of friends that you could think about. I'm crossing people off the list in my head right now. I ain't got nobody. And seeing if you can get to a point where you feel comfortable enough sharing that.
Yeah. I just did this.
Ooh.
Which I don't know if I want to go into it on here, but I just did this, at least the gory details, with a friend. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not one of those people who learn from other people's mistakes. God, I wish I was. Save myself so much time and money. But I've also worked really hard to separate myself from a lot of those. Like I kind of put myself in a hole. And really through good luck and hard work and the grace of my family and friends, like was able to dig myself out of it. But not everybody knows all the gory details of that time of my life. And I just did share some of those details with a friend recently. And
how did it feel?
So good. So good, dude. It's like looking in a mirror and only being able to see part of yourself. And suddenly you could see more. Like you are constantly, we're always being reflected in our friendships and our relationships. We're always being reflected. And you look into somebody and you see yourself through their filter, through their lens. Like, who am I to you? Who am I to Cody? Who am I to Paneet? Right? Who am I to Tyler? Who am I to my best friend Nick is probably the person who knows me the best of everybody, Nick and Kate. But like you're saying, every time you go from 80 to 85%, it is just a relief. It's like a sheer relief just to be known that much more clearly.
Yeah.
And to not have to talk around some particular aspect of your personality or your past, especially. To not have to steer conversations away from something where people might turn and ask you about that particular thing. That sense of being known is so powerful. And truly, it felt wonderful to not receive any judgment on that, and just someone accepted that information about me. Great, cool. And then they move on.
I'm over here blinking 17 million times because that's moving my spirit. like that's I'm like, suck it in. That's moving one to visually see the joy, like the cathartic release is apparent.
Yeah.
To hear it and then be even to celebrate that and to be envious of that at the same time. I'm trying to think if there's something that, like, there's not a deep, dark secret that I'm holding back on specifically, but there is a level of exploration and excitement when you get that to there with somebody new.
Oh,
and like, and I start to think about how fast I get there with new people, and that makes me excited
because you feel like you're being your authentic self. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I want for someone listening to be able to experience that.
Yeah.
So I think if there's a takeaway from today, vulnerability and intimacy is hard. Or intimacy, the active intimacy of knowing yourself, is really hard work. And then being vulnerable enough, creating that space to invite somebody in, to sit them down and to share, is also hard and a lot of work. But the payoff.
Yeah. To be known.
The payoff is well worth it, because it literally is life changing.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And I think that's what I would leave our audience with, so that we can, and the next time we approach intimacy, really talk about the how it all functions. But this is the baseline.
Love it. This was a journey.
This was, and I'm so excited we made it through without a whole lot of emotional outbreaks. Any final thoughts from your end?
No, Cody, do you have
I took
thoughts?
a lot of notes for you guys.
Okay.
Well, Marlon and I got together. Obviously, we prepared questions to kind of softball at you guys for intimacy, like politicians, so that there'd be easy answers. So the first one is, let's hear your takes on Israel and Palestine. We'll send that one to Brett.
Is that
Just to be intimate with us.
they are very
And then
intimate
we'll do
with each other?
abortion next. No. I had a couple of things. One, it was really interesting to hear Marlon talk about intimacy with his kids from the parenting aspect, because you are trying to present a certain level of authority, and it started making me think about times when I was going to art school, and my dad was like, I went to art school, and I was like, I didn't know he went to art school until I was in art school.
I thought your dad grew up as a child just straight building houses.
Well, his family was horse farmers and then building houses, and then he went to be he did wildlife art, and
that kind of tracks.
and to be a veterinarian.
Oh wow!
And then they were living in like a trailer, and my mom's like, we need money, we're having a child, which is my older brother. He was like, okay, I need to build houses. Let's not do the animal stuff. And because to people who don't know, but my dad's kind of like if you've ever seen Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson. He's kind of a quiet. He loves hunting, fishing, not talking. So we're not similar in that way. And and only until I got to be an adult did I see that level of I saw him cry and stuff, about my brother, the mental illness and things. And then my mom was always the one that was sort of the sky's falling, crying type. And I think that now I kind of view them differently. My dad's, I think, much more in touch with his emotional range, whereas my mom was more likely, she cut out her father. We never saw him. And I think her and I deal with things more similarly too. I have no filter, no shame. I think a lot of what you guys described was being able to let something out. I'm like, I think I do it too much. I could actually use to put up a little bit to have something to give that 5%.
Yeah, you're very much an open.
I've had
open faucet.
My boss the other day was like, I'm going to tell you something. and you can't tell anyone, and I know you will. I'm working really hard. But anyway, so I thought intimacy as a barrier where it's actually expected, like to be intimate is considered like fraternizing with your employee, like your boss getting too close, you're a professor with a student, parent with a child. Like there's levels of actually like where it's not okay, I guess, in society to be transparent. But I think the word you use, transparency, was better because there are levels that you want to be able to show people, but you still don't let them see the whole thing because it's not for their benefit. They need to view you as a certain authority figure or something, right?
But you're right, because when you are intentionally intimate, it is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
So you can manipulate that intimacy.
So I was talking with my best friend Nick about this particular topic, and we were also talking about the idea of it being kind of like a faucet, like it's on all the way, and he was saying one of the aspects of intimacy that you have to be careful of is that you don't know if the person that you're giving this intimacy has a vessel large enough to receive it all.
You might be dumping on them. Yeah.
Yeah. They could be overwhelmed quickly. So part of that two-way street is also acknowledging that you're paying attention to the other person, kind of what they're willing and able to receive in that moment.
There was another thing, because you guys asked at the beginning of the definitions, and it kind of changed for me through listening to you guys. What my I kind of developed a better definition.
I love this.
One was that it requires some action in the absence of judgment, which, because at the beginning, I guess in my head, it was just like the freedom of it, but like the intentionality and the action that you're describing there again. And then also discovery and the ability to learn something together is a level of intimacy where you're not necessarily, hey, this is my past or this is what I'm like or whatever, but also the ability to be uncomfortable and learn something new with someone is a level of intimacy. Let's experience this together. I don't know how I'm going to react in this situation, but I'm comfortable with you being here with me, and learning it.
Yeah.
Some people, that's a really, I think this happens to a lot of my friends, girlfriends growing up, because I've seen men like this too, but they don't want to learn a new thing in front of their boyfriend. I don't want to learn bowling in front of him because I'm going to get like frustrated. And I just want to try anything new because I'm going to look silly doing it. And I want people to look at me like I'm not good at it. And being intimate is allowing to look silly and do a thing that you don't know. And maybe you'll learn it. Maybe you won't. I don't know. You're learning.
I love the idea that you brought up of experiencing something, especially with the strangers. Like I have been in museums. I have been like when we went and saw the Vatican. And all that the Vatican has and represents. I mean, I was shoulder to shoulder with people who didn't even speak the language I speak. And we were having a very intimate moment together.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Cody. That's super interesting thought.
To bring it back to the beginning of the things, I had a new sentence I read for the first time ever in my life, which was Charizard can't tear his ACL. And I had to think about it. I was like, what the hell does that mean? And
That sounds like a Ron Burgundy line.
it was making me think about what you guys said about Will Smith. I know it's like all the way back to the beginning, but you guys were talking about, what if Denzel let me down? Oh, it's like another, like a Tom Hanks or something. When people invest in cards, like Pokemon cards or baseball cards, sports cards have fallen off a lot because of their problems off the field or getting hurt. If somebody's going to get arrested, or you don't know if this card you buy of this promising guy, he's going to tear his ACL or he's going to, go to jail or something. And Pokemon cards are considered safe. Charizard can't tear his ACL. He can't go to jail. He's just a fictional character.
Whoa, the context for that just made that mean something really fun.
But it took me a long time to... I read the sentence and I was like, what the hell does this mean?
Yeah.
I was like, is it because he doesn't have an ACL? No, he has legs. Like I had to think about all...
Goku will never disappoint you.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's an interesting concept in that I'm not a collector of anything, but I think of, I guess movies, but I think of people, how they've reasoned that out over the years, that they're like, hey, I'm not getting into that because those people will let you down. Like, it's a scary thought.
That is a scary thought.
I dated a girl who's for a long time, his father was a preacher, and he did a lot of sermons using Bill Cosby bits, and I would be really curious to know how he reacted, because that happened after we split up, and I would love to know is he working on new material?
Did all those tapes get thrown
He
away?
had a lot with Mr. Rogers, so I feel like he just pivoted to Mr. Rogers probably too.
Yeah.
What else did I write? I wrote Intimus or whatever, the Latin would have been a good name for a transformer. Like Optimus. But then I tried to think of what he would turn into, and it was probably a dildo. So that's
Wait.
it's just a buzzing. He's just sitting there. He speaks in buzzes only.
Wait, would he squirt mechanical oil
He could.
at the finish?
Yeah, he could.
Oh
His
my
head
goodness.
moves around like this.
He could transform all kinds of extra arms.
All right, this is for sure
All right,
for the
we'll
fellas.
cut that. That's all I had. Those are all the notes I had anyway.
Roll the music.
We ain't here for the postures or the masks we wear, not the highlight reels or the half-truth share. We talk repairs, staying when it's easier to run, showing up for the work when the honeymoon's done. Fathers, partners, friends, learning how to be, listening more than we speak, choosing honesty. No gurus, no crowns, just truth in the trying. We ain't lying, this is good men trying.